Yo guys, it's Morgz, and today...
Someone tell me what the deal with Morgz is. I know that he's annoying.
I can't see anyone over the age of 12 watching more.
How can anyone sit through this?
It's true guys, I'm leaving YouTube. I just want to be myself again.
Our guy Morgz posts his video saying he's leaving YouTube.
Famous YouTuber Morgz is quitting YouTube.
He's gonna be stepping down from YouTube. We're gonna see the real Morgz, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out.
Some kid YouTubers weren't just famous, they were adored. They were the faces of childhood entertainment.
It's your girl, Danielle Cohn, and I'm going to be doing a questionnaire.
Selling out arenas, launching toy empires, and shaping an entire generation's childhood memories. But today, many of those same kids are among the internet's most controversial figures.
It makes me really, really disgusted when people say that I'm hopping on a trend or doing stuff to get clout.
From adored role models who turned into industry punchlines, to gaming stars who built empires on copied ideas, to family vloggers accused of exploitation, the transformation is shocking. So how did JoJo Siwa, Morgz, Danielle Cohn, Ryan from Ryan's World, and Piper Rockelle go from loved to hated? And what does their downfall reveal about growing up online? Let's find out. JoJo Siwa was once unstoppable. She first broke out on Dance Moms, where her high-energy personality and oversized bows made her stand out. By the time she launched her YouTube channel, she was a global brand. Her hit song Boomerang, an anti-bullying anthem, soared past 1 billion views, and her bow empire raked in hundreds of millions in sales. To kids, she was more than a YouTuber. She was a role model who preached positivity, confidence, and fun. But that squeaky clean image didn't last. In 2024, JoJo tried to shed her kid star persona with a dramatic rebrand. Gone were the bows and sparkles, replaced with leather, dark makeup, and her new single Karma. The problem? Fans instantly noticed the song wasn't even hers. It had been recorded over a decade earlier by another artist, and JoJo's version flopped. Critics called it outdated. Fans flooded the comments with jokes, and within days, it became one of the most disliked music videos of the year.
Wow. Oh my God, JoJo.
That's what I call it. I'm a bad girl now.
And that was just the beginning. JoJo fueled even more backlash.
Well, it's called gay pop. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
When she claimed she had invented gay pop, a statement that offended long-established LGBTQ+ musicians who felt erased by her words. What was once seen as authenticity now looked like arrogance. But perhaps the most damaging controversy came from her girl group, XOMG Pop. Former members accused JoJo and her mother of running a toxic, exploitative environment, forcing young performers into exhausting schedules, mocking kids with disabilities, and even making them rehearse just weeks after major surgeries. These allegations shifted JoJo's image from beloved teen idol to someone accused of exploiting the very kids she once claimed to inspire.
We literally kids, and like with my disability, like I take a lot of medicine, and so being like in an overheating environment, like obviously that's not good for me. And so we had to wear sweatshirts and sweatpants, multiple layers, with the heat all the way up, dancing full out. We literally just go over and over and singing over and over and over, to the point where we'd be almost passing out. We would literally have to run outside to like breathe.
The same internet that once called her a role model now mocked her transformation. Saturday Night Live parodied her rebrand. Critics labeled her music embarrassing, and fans admitted they were watching her for the wrong reasons. Entertainment through cringe. But JoJo wasn't the only one to fall from grace. While her downfall came from a failed rebrand and exploitation claims, another former child star's reputation crumbled for something else entirely. When Morgz first hit YouTube, he looked like the next big gaming star. At just 13, he was uploading FIFA videos with genuine skill, crazy energy, and a goofy charm that drew in young audiences. His early challenges and Pokemon Go clips went viral, and fans loved how his family, especially his mom, Jill, and Bald Martin, joined in on the fun. Back then, Morgz felt authentic, and kids saw him as the loud, over-the-top friend they wished they had.
The more loud, energetic, intense, crazy I was in the videos, that's kind of what provided the best results. And obviously my main goal, and I think pretty much most YouTubers are, but like My main goal was always just to like grow my channel as big as it could be.
But by 2018, things changed. Fans started noticing a pattern. Morgz' videos looked a little too familiar. In fact, they were almost identical to MrBeast's.
You get inspired because it's clearly you're getting inspired by me. Just switch it up a little bit more. Like, yeah, obviously I got inspired by other people. I wasn't the first to donate to Twitch streamers. Everyone gets inspiration. Just you put your own little twist on it. I would just prefer if you get inspired by me, just switch it up a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, I don't hate you. It's whatever.
Can 1,000 rolls of duct tape stop a car? Turned into Morgz's Can 1,000 layers of duct tape stop a car hitting me? MrBeast's 24 hours in slime became Morgz's I spent 24 hours in slime. The copying was so blatant that PewDiePie called him out, labeling it straight up ripping off. To make it worse, Morgz allegedly banned the word MrBeast from his comments so fans couldn't call him out directly. And then came the clickbait. Titles like, My mum had's with me when I was 12.
When was the last time your dad was sexually active?
I'm not answering anything at all.
Weren't just shocking, they were manipulative, especially considering his audience was mostly kids. Even big creators like Dramalert and Kavos slammed him for exploiting sexual themes just to rack up views.
What the fuck? Does their bonding seem sweet now, fuckers? What was he thinking? Look at the fucking thumbnail of the video.
The treatment of his family in videos made things worse. He humiliated Bald Martin in dangerous challenges, mocked his mother's weight, and often made Jill the punchline of inappropriate jokes. What started as fun family involvement now looked more like exploitation for clicks. The backlash was brutal. Change.org petitions demanded his channel be banned. Commentary YouTubers roasted him non-stop, and viewers who once loved him turned on him. To many, Morgz went from being a funny teen gamer to the poster boy for everything wrong with YouTube clickbait. But if Morgz lost fans for copying others, Danielle Cohn's downfall came from something far more personal, her real age. Danielle Cohn's story is one of the most shocking on this list. She blew up on musical.ly in 2017, posting lip-sync videos and sassy dances that helped her rack up millions of followers before she was even a teenager. Her debut single Marilyn Monroe went viral, and she quickly landed brand deals with companies like Samsung and Fashion Nova. To fans, she seemed like a bold teen star living every girl's dream. But her fame came with a secret. In 2019, her father dropped a bombshell. Danielle wasn't the age she and her mom had claimed.
Everybody's been asking about the birth certificate, so here it is. Obviously, she is 14, just turned 14 on March 7th. She was born on 2006.
Birth certificates showed she was actually 2 years younger than what the internet believed.
Multiple people have shown this birth certificate. My mom had multiple members of her family calling her constantly, screaming at her, leaving crazy messages over the fact that she told the truth.
That meant when she was doing bikini shoots, romantic content, and even suggestive music videos.
Go to the beach and you see a bikini on a person, so why does it matter if I post a bikini? And like, everyone's like, oh, it's because you're this age, that age. I don't really think age matters. You go to the freaking pool or the beach and you're gonna see girls in bikinis. Why are people acting like it's some huge thing that's going on? It's really not. Like, I see other girls posting in bikinis, other girls posting pictures with their freaking boobs out. I see girls on TikTok literally twerking in bikinis, and no one says shit to them, but people say it to me. Makes no sense.
She may have only been 13, or even 11 when it all began. The age lies triggered massive outrage. Suddenly, everything, from her relationships to her brand partnerships, looked sinister.
Anywhere. Like, you could go to the beach, you could go to the water park, and there's gonna be a person who thinks like that. You know, that's watching people.
Look,
so how is it any different from a kid wearing a bikini
what's
online
on the fan
to a kid wearing a bikini at the water park? You don't know who's around you.
Critics accused her mother of pushing her into adult situations for money. Fans who once supported her felt betrayed, realizing they'd been watching a child act like an adult for the internet's entertainment. The scandals didn't stop there. Danielle and her then-boyfriend Mikey Tua faked a marriage and pregnancy at ages where neither was legal, leaving their young fans confused and manipulated. Leaked private conversations later revealed Danielle had gone through an abortion while still in her early teens.
I allowed you to have an abortion, and this is all the shit that they're saying on there.
I allowed so much that I shouldn't have allowed. And it's allowed you to be the person you become and just think it's okay to act the way you can towards me. We don't have a relationship.
Oh, can I talk? You make disgusting comments about the abortion all the time.
You shouldn't. That's the worst thing.
You said to me, you were like, at least I didn't kill my child.
Don't even go there with me.
Mom.
You know it. Okay, Danny,
The
whatever.
abortion is probably like the hardest subject for me to talk about, and you always bring it up.
Fueling even more controversy about how far her family was pushing her into grown-up situations she wasn't ready for. What started as innocent fun turned into one of the internet's most infamous cautionary tales. Advocacy groups began using her case to argue for stronger child protection laws online. To many, Danielle wasn't just a controversial influencer. She became the face of child exploitation in the digital age. But while Danielle's career unraveled because of her age, Ryan from Ryan's World faced backlash for a very different reason. His family turning toy reviews into a billion-dollar empire. Ryan Kaji didn't just become famous, he became an empire. His YouTube channel, Ryan's World, started in 2015 when he was just 3 years old, opening toys on camera with pure excitement.
When I was 3, I was watching other people, and I was like, why am I not on there? And I started my own YouTube channel.
Videos like Giant Lightning McQueen Egg Surprise went viral, pulling in billions of views and turning Ryan into the most successful child YouTuber ever. To kids, he was relatable and fun, just another kid playing with toys. To parents, he felt safe and wholesome. But behind the bright colors and toy reviews, things weren't as simple. By 2019, Ryan's World had grown so big that it sparked a formal FTC complaint. Watchdogs accused his channel of disguising ads as regular videos, with reports claiming over 90% of his content included paid promotions, all aimed at preschoolers too young to tell the difference between fun and advertising. Suddenly, Ryan's genuine playtime looked like a non-stop commercial. The criticisms only grew louder as Ryan got older. Viewers noticed he often seemed disinterested in the videos, sparking accusations that his parents were forcing him to keep performing long after the fun had worn off. Online, the phrase "child slave" trended, with people demanding Ryan be allowed to step away from the spotlight and live a normal childhood. Then came questions about his parents. His mom's past criminal record for shoplifting resurfaced, fueling suspicions about who was really controlling the millions Ryan's brand was generating. Critics argued that his entire childhood had been turned into a business, with toys, TV shows, clothing lines, and even video games tied to his image. And while the family insists Ryan only films a few hours a week, many believe the pressure of performing for tens of millions of people while carrying a billion-dollar brand has already taken a toll. What started as innocent toy unboxings is now seen by many as a symbol of child exploitation, wrapped in bright packaging. But if Ryan's controversies centered on money and advertising, Piper Rockelle's scandals pulled her into something even darker: lawsuits, demonetization, and a Netflix expose.
Piper's mother, Tiffany Smith, is the momager.
She took these kids to massive viral fame. It seemed so innocent, but it wasn't innocent at all.
Piper Rockelle was once the face of tween YouTube. She built a massive following with challenge videos, pranks, and her famous friend group known as The Squad. Kids loved watching her life play out online. It felt like a mix of sleepover fun and reality TV. Her bubbly personality, relatable age, and loyal fan base made her one of the most watched kid creators on the platform. But behind the scenes, Piper's rise was built on something much darker. Concerns first hit mainstream headlines in 2021 when pop star Pink criticized Piper's bikini photos, asking why her parents were letting a child post sexualized images online. That single tweet sparked widespread conversations about whether Piper was being exploited. Soon after, YouTube even removed some of her thumbnails for violating child safety guidelines. Things only escalated from there. In 2022, 11 former members of the squad filed a $22 million lawsuit against Piper's mom.
I will say one thing, the mom of the group made me, back in like late 2021, fire my manager.
Why? Didn't like him?
And she made threats that if we didn't to my mom, that she would do stuff Yeah. I'm not gonna say what, but she was making threats if I didn't fire my manager.
Tiffany Smith. The allegations were shocking. Emotional abuse, toxic working conditions, kids forced to work 12-hour days without pay.
I need to be her saying that it ruined her birthday, when Piper probably didn't even really care. But I did do it because I'm a very genuine person, and I actually do care about people no matter what. And I will always find forgiveness. She offered me a vape, and then my parents found out that she offered me a vape. Things how she would have anxiety attacks. Her mom would have this thing called anxiety attacks, or that's what she called them. She would, jump out of cars, threaten to leave, threaten to run away. All this stuff that would scare us. She would always yell at the kids, inappropriate things, almost things that an ex-girlfriend would say to you. She would yell at me over text and, call me names that shouldn't be, that 12-year-olds shouldn't be called by a 30-year-old woman. Stop working with me if I hung out with this person, or I went to a certain event, or I did this or that, or hung out with this person or that person. It wasn't fun. Really wasn't.
And even disturbing claims of inappropriate comments and behavior. Some ex-members described the environment as cult-like, where leaving the squad meant facing harassment and retaliation.
And I felt pressured and uncomfortable by Piper's team to do some of the things. For example, they tried to put me in a left triangle with a boy I didn't know, and I was going to be that girl that has to fight over a boy with another girl, and it was just going to be a competition to be with a boy, and it was just really dumb, and I'm only 13. I don't think I should fake a relationship this early.
The backlash was so severe that YouTube stepped in and demonetized Piper's channel, cutting off hundreds of thousands of dollars in monthly income. For a creator who built her empire on child-friendly videos, this was a devastating blow. And just when it seemed like the controversy couldn't get any worse, Netflix released the 2024 documentary Bad Influence: The Dark Side of Kidfluencing. It spotlighted Piper's case in detail, showing how vulnerable young creators can be when their careers are managed by adults chasing money over safety. The series hit #1 on the platform and reignited nationwide outrage, cementing Piper's reputation as one of the most controversial kid stars on the internet. Fans who once adored her now leave comments filled with disappointment, saying things like, "It's really sad to see what fame has done to her," and "Her mom destroyed her childhood." What was once fun, colorful content now carries a cloud of exploitation and scandal. But Piper's story isn't unique. In fact, when you look at JoJo, Morgz, Danielle, Ryan, and Piper together, a clear pattern starts to emerge. One that reveals why so many kid stars end up going from loved to hated. Their stories may seem completely different, but the pattern is almost identical. They all started out as kids who seemed authentic. JoJo with her bows and positivity, Morgz with his goofy gaming energy, Danielle with her catchy lip syncs, Ryan with his excitement for toys, and Piper with her squad challenges. They were fun, innocent, and easy to love. But as they grew up, the magic faded. Their audiences changed, their content became more extreme, and the pressure to stay relevant pushed them into scandals, controversies, and desperate rebrands. For some, like Morgz, it was copying others to keep views alive. For Danielle, it was age lies that shattered trust. For Ryan, it was the uncomfortable realization that his entire childhood had been turned into a business. For Piper, it was lawsuits that exposed just how dark the influencer industry can get. And for JoJo, it was the risk of reinventing herself in ways that felt forced, fake, or even exploitative. In the end, the hate they get now often says less about them as individuals, and more about the broken system they grew up in. Platforms failed to protect them, parents blurred the line between family and business, and audiences, hungry for drama, built them up only to tear them down. It's a cycle we've seen play out again and again. A child becomes a star, the internet adores them, and then, as they grow older, every misstep is magnified until the same audience that once loved them turns away in disgust. So maybe the real question isn't why these kids became hated. Maybe it's whether they ever had a chance to grow up without being hated in the first place. So there you have it. 5 kid YouTubers who went from internet darlings to cautionary tales. Growing up online isn't just risky, it's nearly impossible to survive without scars. And it leaves us with a tough question. Were these kids really hated, Or were they just kids caught in a system that turned their childhood into profit? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you feel sorry for them, or do you think they deserve the backlash? Thanks for watching, and if you want more deep dives into the internet's most controversial stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's coming next.